Well, hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be making a chicken parmo, a Teeside chicken parmo, but with a twist. I've seen loads and loads of these videos on YouTube about how to make a great chicken parmo, and that's something that I want to try and do here. Essentially, it is a chicken Milanese, which is a paned butterflied piece of chicken with a cheesy Béchamel sauce on the top. Now, sounds delicious, reasonably easy to do, but I'm going to give it a little twist. I'm going to smoke my chicken before I make it. Smoked chicken parmo, here we come. So, before this chicken goes into the smoker, I'm going to brine it. So I need 500 mils of water, and we're going to add some salt to this, 50 grams of salt. And this is just a light brine. We'll get this all dissolved, and once we've butterflied the chicken, we shall pop it in this brine before we smoke it. The reason we do this is because we just don't put raw food, raw meat especially, into a smoker. We're going to be sort of cold / hot smoking it, so we're not going to be cooking it, but we are going to be applying some smoke to it. And we just want to make sure that when we stick the meat into the smoker, there's a great relationship between smoke, salt, fat and meat, and we're going to be enhancing its taste by putting the salt with it. But it's just a little thing that we do. We'll rinse these off once they come out of the brine. They're only going to be in the brine for around about 20 minutes, no more. And all we want to do is just get this nicely dissolved, and then we'll butterfly our chicken, and away we go.
One of the consequences of brining the chicken for this short period of time also means that it becomes very, very juicy and it retains a lot of moisture.
There's one, there's two. Now all we want to do is flatten this out. Now you can put this between two baking parchments and smash it to pieces, but I prefer to sort of butterfly mine by just sticking the knife in, not cutting all the way through, and just opening it out like so. Just like that. Get down, you cheeky boy, you can't have any. Oh, I'm looking after my son's dog this week, and he's a great little guy, but he's very, very food orientated, and the idea of a chicken parmo certainly appeals to him. Doesn't it, mate? Eh? There we go. So that's ready. I can throw these into the brine. Let me get the brine up here. You can see that that's now dissolved, and we'll just plop those in. We'll stick the timer on for 20 minutes. We'll pop these in the fridge, let them do their thing, and we'll come back to that in a short while. Okay, we're going to be hot smoking this chicken, but we're not going to be cooking it, okay? We're just going to put it into some smoke, and in order to do that, we just have to create a little bit of heat to really turn the wood dust into smoke. So I'm going to be using an improvised hot smoker. If you come down onto the bench, that's just the timer to let me know that the chicken is going to be needing to come out in 5 minutes. So the sooner I explain this, the better. So let me just tell you what we're going to be doing here. Okay, so on the bench here, I've got two roasting trays. Now, this is basically my improvised hot smoker. This is always my base. I mean, you can see how long I've used that. I mean, I've had this for years. It's even cracked the base. It's been used so many times. Now, into the bottom of this, I'm going to be putting some apple chips, and I'm going to put these right above where I want that heat to come up through, because it's going to set fire to those. Well, it's not really going to set fire. There's not going to be any flame, because it's going to be just decomposed by the heat underneath, and that will create a lot of smoke. As soon as I fill this up with smoke, I'm going to turn off the heat. But before that happens, this needs to go in, and that just separates the smoke and the wood chips from the food. we need a rack for our food to go on. So the chicken breasts are going to go onto here, and then on top of that we've got this lid, and the whole assembly will sit on top of the camping stove that we're going to use. So we're not going to do this indoors, makes too much smoke. So we're going to take it outside. Even if you've got a fantastic extractor fan, this is going to be a disaster if you do it indoors. So anyway, look, here's our improvised smoker. Now the edges of this, it's really important that you use these little bulldog clips. If you've got any, if you can't find any, nip into work, have a look at the notice board. You'll always find them there, and I'm sure they won't miss them.
We interrupt this broadcast just to make it clear that the makers of this video are not condoning the theft of bulldog clips.
But yeah, bulldog clips, really good, keeps it together quite well, and it just stops the lid coming off, keeps the smoke where it needs to be. We're going to let the smoke affect these chicken for probably no more than about 5 minutes. So we'll keep the lid off so we don't get any heat build up in here, because we don't want to cook the chicken. As soon as that heat comes through and turns that apple chip into smoke, then we're going to pop the lid on, secure it, let it go for about a minute or two, and then turn off the heat, because we don't want to cook this chicken, and we're just going to let this chicken bathe in that smoke for around about 5 to 10 minutes. As soon as that's done, we're ready to make the parmo. A little bit windy today, which actually might be a bit of an advantage, so let's get this turned on.
The reason the wind might be an advantage is because it means that as air passes over the tin, it will take a lot of that heat away and not allow the chicken to get hot.
As soon as we see that smoke coming through there, we will jump into action, put the lid on, leave it for a few seconds. Oh, I can smell it, look at that. You can just see the smoke coming through now. Right. So let's trap that. You can see what I mean. That smoke is going to be infusing into that chicken like you would not believe. Right, so let's clip that down there. And we'll keep this going for about a minute. We don't really want any heat in here, we just want the smoke. Turn the heat off. Okay, so there's no heat going into this whatsoever. Just going to keep that smoke trapped in there so that we can get it infused into that chicken. This has been a few minutes now, so let's open it up. But we're just looking for that beautiful aroma. Oh yes. Certainly got a smoky aroma to it. Let's take this inside. Here is our hot smoked chicken. Let's get it onto a plate. We can stick this in the fridge, let it cool down, and we can get that panade, and we'll get our bechamel going. But before we do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some smoke on the butter and also smoke the Parmesan cheese, just to give it a really punchy, strong, smoky flavour and aroma. Okay, to really ramp up the flavour on this chicken parmo, I'm going to be smoking my butter and also my Parmesan cheese, and I'm using my desktop cold smoker to do this. And I've got some freshly grated Parmesan cheese here, and I've cut my butter into little slivers. This is for the bechamel, remember? And the reason I've done that is so that it increases the surface area, so you get more smoke on it when you do that. Right, let's get this lit and we'll get the smoke in there. Right, I better turn this before the fire brigade get called. Oh my goodness me. And all we're going to do is leave this to condense out.
Well, we got a fair bit of smoke on it on the first hit, and I thought I would just give it another blast with the old smoke gun to give it an extra hit of smoke.
Oh, you can really smell that smoke coming off that butter. Oh, that's beautiful. Into that, we've got a tablespoon of flour. And then we'll lob our milk in.
Whenever you make a bechamel sauce, the first thing you want to do is get all the flour incorporated and then slowly add the milk. And you want to do this slowly. If you do it too quickly, you'll end up with a lumpy sauce, and no one wants a lumpy sauce.
Right, that looks lovely. That's thickening up nicely. We'll manage the consistency of this with a little bit of extra milk, which we've got in here. Right, let's get the cheese in there. This is our smoked Parmigiano. And that looks absolutely lovely. Don't want to get too much in there. I'm going to actually grate a little bit more for the top. Well, we'll get this in. Give this a bit of a taste. See where we are. Oh yes. Just got to cook that flour out a little bit more. And then that is ready to go. Oh my goodness, that is very smoky. That is really nice. In fact, I'm going to put the rest of that Parmigiano in. And rather than put some extra on the top, I'll put that butter in as well, just to give it a little bit more richness. Rather than put some Parmesan on the top of this and then grill it, I think we'll just bubble this sauce under the grill. Right, that is the sauce done.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is beat a couple of eggs together. Now, you want to get these so that they're nice and even consistency, and once they're done, we'll sort the breadcrumbs out.
Here's our breadcrumbs. It's a mixture of that sourdough bread and a little bit of panko here. So you can see the lighter stuff in there is the panko, but we got enough there. Good thick coating of breadcrumbs. Lovely.
Hey, and look, if you don't have any pre-prepared breadcrumbs, you can always put a couple of slices of bread into a toaster, let them dry, and then whiz them in a food processor, or crumble them up into a bag and turn them into breadcrumbs that way.
Right, time to panne our chicken. So first thing we're going to do is dredge it in some flour, dip it in some egg, and panne it with the breadcrumb.
If you want to season the flour with a little bit of pepper, that's absolutely fine. You don't need salt because we've brined the chicken. The great thing about panneing is that you can do this ahead of time. Stick them on the tray once they're all breaded and pop them in the fridge, and they'll be ready to cook when you're ready to eat.
And then straight into the breadcrumbs. Oh, look at that. Yeah. I'm not going to double panne these, not just yet anyway.
Double panneing is just the process of re-dipping them in the egg and reintroducing them to some more breadcrumbs. Having panned them once, I had a little bit of extra breadcrumb left, and I thought, well, it'll be a shame to waste it. Let's double panne them both and see how we get on. This is really lovely if you like a particularly nice, thick, rich breadcrumb coating.
Okay, that oil's nice and warm now.
Now we're shallow frying these chicken fillets, and they only take a couple of minutes on each side to get them really nice and golden brown. And when they're done, simply flip them over, do the other side, and then take them out. Easy as that.
Right, I think this one's done. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Right.
If you need a few more spoons of oil, just pop it in the pan.
Next one in. Have a look, see how this is doing. Yes, that's done beautifully. All right. Okay, we'll sauce these up and we'll get them under a hot grill to toast them off.
Yeah, look, that's what happens when you leave the gas on after warming the sauce through. Naughty me.
Right, let's get these under a grill.
Now make sure the grill's really hot and don't take your eyes off them. This sauce will burn in a heartbeat.
Oh, that is looking spectacular. That is looking something else. Right, let's get this on the plate. Oh, magnificent. Okay. That looks beautiful. Can't wait to taste this. Okay, so here's my chicken parmo. That looks spectacular.
And for good measure, I served this with some wonderful peas and carrots.
So here we are, chicken parmo. Done a few carrots and peas with this. Let's give it a taste. Okay. Wow. That is absolutely amazing. And that smoky flavour really comes through. Oh, goodness me. Right. Let's give it another taste. Chicken's really, really soft as well.
Full recipe details are in the description of the video.
That is delicious. Bit of a naughty treat, but hey, absolutely fantastic. Wow. Well, listen, I hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, give it a big thumbs up, let us know what you think in the comments, and I will see you on the next Smoky video. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.